Hi, everyone. So we're about ready to get started now. Thanks for being patient for a couple minutes while we waited for everyone to join. We are excited to have David from the Gmail team here to talk to you guys a little bit more about getting the most out of your Gmail experience. So we're sure a lot of you are probably already familiar with it and use it a bunch and love it as much as we do, but we want to be sure to provide you with some tips and suggestions about how to really make the most of the tools and features available. So before we get started, just a couple of announcements. First of all, thanks to those of you guys who submitted your docs event forms and sent us your survey links. It's looking really good, and we're really excited to see that some of you are getting such great response rates and holding such successful events on campus. So keep those coming, and if you haven't yet held your event or sent us your survey link, please do that. Also, just a reminder to submit your form if you have an app big idea. So if you had a huge budget to spend on your campus, what kinds of things would you come up with? And we're really excited to potentially be able to fund some of the best ideas. So make sure to submit that form as soon as you can if we haven't already. And then also wanted, in case you didn't see the email that we sent out earlier today, to call out the article that was recently published in the eSchool News online journal. It has a pretty big readership, and we're really excited to feature some of you guys and more information about the program in that publication. So way to go, keep it up. We're really excited to have more pieces like that come out. And then I wanted to make an announcement about your events. I just want to let you guys know that you don't need to wait for approval in order to have your events, but you need to continue submitting them through the form. So if we see any problems, then we'll definitely contact you, but otherwise consider yourself approved, and that's because you guys have been planning great events, and they're working out really well, so we don't feel the need to approve each one. And I also wanted to make an announcement about jobs, because I know you guys are applying for full-time positions and internships for the summer. And if you're applying to Google, being an ambassador helps a lot, so we want to make sure that you include that on your resume. And if you do apply online, please send me an email to let me know so I can push your application along. And that's that. This is Alex. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. If you guys have questions along the way about Gmail or anything that David is saying or mentioning, feel free to just type it in using WebEx into the chat or QA box in the bottom right-hand corner. And the same format as usual, we'll just go ahead and answer those questions on the call after we go through the deck. So with that, I'll let David take it away.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for attending. I'm really excited to talk a little bit about Gmail and how to really take it to the next level. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are already very familiar with it. So we will try and get to the really cool stuff fast. So what we're going to discuss today are first just a general overview of Gmail and some of its main benefits, compared to other email services. And again, I know that probably all of you use Gmail and are really familiar with it. So we won't spend too much time there and jump right into some of the coolest features that have been developed recently for Gmail and, what they can do for you and other people on campus to really make things easier. And then we're going to talk a little bit about becoming a Gmail ninja, which is a really cool program that's been set up and a way to sort of go through a lot of the most advanced features of Gmail, become really familiar with new labs and tools that make the whole email experience much, much easier and are really, really fun. And you guys might already have looked at that, but we'll go through that. And then some ways that everybody can come up with some ideas to spread some of your expertise and a lot of these new tricks and tools that we're going to go over today. Because really the end goal is to make sure that everybody on campus, as many people on campus as possible, know how to make the most of their email experience and their Gmail. So we'll go through that, and then there will be some time for Q&A. And like Miriam said, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to just type them in the Q&A section, and we'll make sure to get to everything. So the first thing is Gmail and just its general benefits. Why Gmail? Basically, with Gmail, we believe email a few fundamental premise. Email doesn't need to be slow. It doesn't need to be manual. So the program can do a lot of the work for you in terms of Gmail and search and finding messages. And you shouldn't have to be at a computer every time you'd like to check your mail. We know we all rely on email for just about every aspect of our lives. School, turning in papers, your work, your personal life. So we're constantly communicating with everyone and stay in touch with friends and family. So the idea behind Gmail is to make it as fast and easy as possible and allow you to do it from anywhere, basically. So with that, what we've really been working on with Gmail is how to eliminate spam, because it's a problem that is incredibly annoying and we all face, and just have as little spam as possible. The power of Google search, which have teams that are constantly innovating on and making sure that all of those benefits extend into Gmail so that you can find the exact message or thread of messages that you want anytime that you need it. And then lastly, the big thing is just plenty of space. We use email to send files, attachments, to communicate, keep records of chats that you have, and we want to find them exactly when we need them without waiting. And with Gmail, they're all right there. So, sort of describe some of these, but some main key benefits that I want to go over, and that anyone who you talk to who isn't familiar with Gmail would probably be very interested in learning about. So, like I mentioned, getting access to your mail on the go. If you're on the computer, you're typing a paper in the library, you're on your phone, your iPhone, your Android device, whatever it is, anywhere, anytime you want to access your email, it's there. Another main thing is organizing replies into conversations. I know before I used Gmail, I was always so frustrated with sending replies back and forth and just seeing that title, read, and not having any idea what the email was related to and all of these long strings of unrelated messages. So with Gmail, they're all in conversations, which is a much more natural way of doing things, right? The back and forth of email, and it all goes into one long extended interaction. So one of my absolute favorite parts of Gmail are the labels, filters, and stars. And this is the whole premise that we don't need folders to sort of store and then access all of the messages, because that means that you need to remember what folder you put everything in. And with labels and filters, what you can do is you can set up searches and really find exactly what you want and organize it that way. So, as a student with a million things to do, a million papers to write, event invitations, storing flights home, these features are really good for keeping life simple. I know one thing that I used to do back when I was in college is I would fly home all the time and had created a special label for my flight confirmations. And with filtering, you can set it up. I know I'm always flying Southwest Airlines or Virgin America. And any of these emails from those places with the word confirmation in them, I want them to go right into this special label so that I know exactly where to go when the day before I want to print my boarding pass. So really no more just combing through your inbox trying to find proof that you emailed your professor about an extension. If you want to find that email, just search for it or look in that label that you've created for papers that you've turned in. So we talked about space a little bit. We're all very conscious of the environment, and papers get lost. So So you can't print your paper. You can always email it to yourself as an attachment. Find it quickly using Gmail search, and like we said, the search technology is really awesome. Also built-in chat. So not necessarily sending a whole email message, taking the time. Let's say you need the answer to something really quickly, just using chat right in your email and either responding to an email or having a conversation. So it's a great tool to collaborate with classmates over text, voice, or video. And the best part, in my opinion, is free. So there are other services out there, but we believe that it should all be free and should all be right there and integrated right with your email. And then lastly, a main benefit I wanted to go over was how you can really use Gmail even in the school environment if your school uses a different email services. So I know many of your schools already use Google Apps, but even for people who don't have Google Apps at their school, you can use Gmail as your email solution. And I know I went to Brown, for example, and back at Brown, 60% of students had Gmail accounts actually and forwarded their mail because it was just much easier for them to keep track of everything. Now I'm really proud to say that Brown switched to Google Apps, so that's no longer necessary. But if this is the case, all you need to do is you could forward your school mail to Gmail, and you can even set up a filter in your Gmail account and a label so that any message that's coming from your student account, you know exactly where it's coming from, and it's easily labeled as coming from that other address. A feature that we're all super excited about that's fairly new is the custom from address, so that basically, let's say that you have, your name at your school email, but you're actually using Gmail to access your mail because everything's forwarded. You can change a setting in Gmail so that even if you're responding from that message in Gmail, you can have it respond from whatever email address you'd like. So you could actually do your regular student email so that everybody sees the response coming from the exact email address that they sent the message to. So that's really, really exciting. And like I said, at other schools, I know we went to the survey at Northwestern, 90% of students used other services besides their main email service that was provided on campus, and 67%, like two-thirds, were using Gmail. So we definitely want to spread the word about how this can make life easier and that it's really not very difficult to set up. It's just set up forwarding, take a few minutes once, and then lots and lots of time and less stress later on. So for the fun part, I wanted to go through some of the brand new features in Gmail and some of the ones that save lots of time, are really fun, and just really makes a Gmail experience. So the first thing is the mobile Gmail experience now really offers just about everything that you could possibly want in the normal web-based Gmail experience. So, for one, with push email, you can use Google Sync, and we have links to this in the presentation, which you can access and then see later on the Ambassador website. You can use Google Sync to get your Gmail messages pushed directly to your iPhone, iPod Touch, Windows mobile device, whatever it may be. And because it's push, you can actually get those messages now and have them fetched in real time. So there's no more, waiting a day or waiting hours before getting your messages. You can really get them whenever you want, just like in the online version. I personally use an iPhone, and I like the even in my phone browser, you can enjoy the full functionality of archiving, threading, starring, all those things that make Gmail for the most part. And it's just so nice to be able to do that from your phone and have that full functionality. So you can just go to gmail.com on your phone and access that right away. The last thing is syncing up your contacts and your calendar with your smartphone has never been easier. You can do it really fully and automatically just by setting a few settings in your mobile Gmail, which you can find on the Gmail Help Center, and walk you through exactly how to do that. One of the things about the way that engineers work at Google is constantly coming up with new fun ideas, ways to make the products better. Gmail is a great example of that. And in Gmail we have Labs, which you guys might know about already. But when you go into settings and you click on Labs, you can see all of the just coolest, newest, most innovative ideas and features that are going on. And this is before they're actually necessarily in the product as full-fledged features. So the idea is that you can test them first. You can give us your feedback so that engineers know, spread it, use it, and see what really does the job and is important. And what this does is it allows a lot of these creative new features to sort of come out to you guys before they're actually necessarily, fully in the product. So let's go over some of the coolest ones. The first one is tasks, which is just from an organizational standpoint, allows you to put together a to-do list right in your mail. Because a lot of us spend a lot of our time in our email, and it's a great way to organize exactly what you need to get done. So once you enable tasks in the Labs, it sits right at the bottom of the screen, just like a chat box if you use chat, and it really lets you, prioritize items on your plate, and actually you can sync your email with your tasks itself. So you can actually have an email message and say, hey, I know I need to get this done, and add that as a task to do later. So Tasks is one of the, it actually is no longer a lab, it's a full-fledged Gmail feature at this point, and is our first lab to ever fully graduate. And just super, super excited about it, and it's a way to save a lot of time really easily and understand what you need to get done. Next, don't forget Bob and got the wrong Bob. I personally find this incredibly useful because I'm always emailing similar groups of people, like people I go and play basketball with versus people that I'm working on a project with. And what this don't forget Bob and got the wrong Bob does is when you're emailing a group of people in the to box and you're emailing multiple addresses, don't forget Bob will suggest email addresses that you tend to email most often with those other people. So let's say that you have 4 friends that you usually invite to go to the movies, and you usually send them an email. You start typing in a couple of their names. Don't forget Bob's gonna right there in the underneath the to box is going to remind you that you can, you don't want to forget these 2 other people because you usually email them about this. And then perhaps even more of a lifesaver is got the wrong Bob, which will tell you if it looks like you're emailing the wrong person, given a certain context and a certain group of people that you're emailing. So let's say you're emailing your friend who happens to have the same first name as a professor. This can definitely come in handy if to stop you from emailing that professor something that would have been more of a personal message to a friend. So don't forget Bob and Dr. on Bob, which you can find in labs. A really, really, really fun one is mail goggles. And I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but it's one of my favorite labs. And what it does is at certain times of night, and you can set this, but usually late night on the weekends, let's say, gives you a few math problems before it allows you to send that email. And you never want to wake up on a Saturday morning or Sunday morning and regret having sent that email the night before. So this is just a really fun lab that basically tries to prevent that problem from happening. Now, I talked a little bit earlier about ways that Gmail can save time, and one of the ways that really separates Gmail in my mind are keyboard shortcuts. Because all the time that we spend on email, if you can save a few seconds on every single interaction that you have, it just really, really adds up to a lot of time, especially when you're trying to perform the same action to lots of different messages or performing multiple tasks at once. So in your email, you have 20 messages down the line, and you just want to archive them at once. You don't want to spend the time going through your mouse and clicking on the box next to each individual message. You can use the keyboard shortcut to select all of them, to select just a group of them, and then archive them in one simple step. So with a touch of a couple of keys. And I don't know if anybody here has keyboard shortcut stickers that we made a while ago, but those are a really fun way to remember exactly which buttons are best to press. So, like, one that I use most often, like I mentioned, is archiving, and you just press Y, and that's instantly going to archive the mail. So those seconds really can add up. And with those stickers, we're actually going to be sending you guys care packages, and in those will be some stickers. And what you can do with these stickers is put them on the keyboards and give them to other people on campus to really help spread the word about keyboard shortcuts and how that can really save time and make doing just about anything on Gmail much, much easier. Another lab that you can enable, and we actually have a video here in the presentation that we won't watch now, but you can access it just by clicking in the presentation, is Gmail Offline. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to access your entire inbox and compose messages, read messages, do any of those actions that you would want to do even without an internet connection, and do them offline. So if you're on an airplane and you're not fortunate enough to have internet access on that flight, or you're sitting in a boring lecture, whatever the case may be, you can access your mail, you can start drafting messages even in the absence of an internet connection. So I would definitely recommend checking out this video later on to learn a little bit more about Gmail Offline in the labs. Now, like we discussed before, we've developed this program called Becoming a Gmail Ninja. And what it does is it really allows you to organize some of these features and some of these ways to use Gmail in more advanced, efficient ways, and go through a progression from sort of the simpler, easier ways things to the more advanced ones. And even though all of you might already be experts, it's just a super way to help ramp up other people who are learning more about Gmail and learning more about some of its features because it's staged along. So what I wanted to do is just go over each of these stages and the types of general tips and tricks that are there on each of those stages, because this is going to be a really, I think, useful way to teach other people on campus about ways that you can use Gmail in a more advanced way. And everybody's at a different level, so hopefully there will be one of these levels in terms of the belts that's going to correspond with people and their stage. So the first one is the Wipeout Stage. And you can access all of this online in the link that's there in the presentation, which is google.com/mail/help/tips. And this will have all of the Gmail Ninja trainings there. So with the white belt, it's really designed for people who get a few messages a day, but still want to save time, want to learn some advanced features, and it goes through some of the more basic elements, like using stars to note that an email message is important, you need to take action on it, whatever it is that starring it shows to you. Replying by chat is really useful. If, let's say that you get an email from someone and you realize that they're online at that moment, you just have a quick clarifying question to ask them, you can just hit reply by chat, using labels to organize mail. And this is really, really, one of the things that I've found most useful in using Gmail, because just by remembering a color or seeing something, I can organize and categorize my messages into to-do items, various, things in common. I talked a little bit about the flights earlier, but that's just a really basic example. Other ways to use labels are, let's say you always get a newsletter every week, and you want to make sure that you still get that newsletter, but you don't really care about reading it at the time. You might just want to be able to reference it later on. So what you might do is create a filter just in the inbox and then create the label for that particular newsletter or newsletters in general, and not have to see it in your inbox, have it directly archived, but have access to it. So on the white belt page here are some of those other basics, and it also shows you how to just search your Gmail instead of sorting. This is one of the, we think, very obvious things about getting the most out of Gmail, the search to find our mail, but surprisingly not everybody knows about it. So it's really important that people understand some of these more basic facets so that they can use Gmail up to its capabilities. Archiving messages so that your inbox only has to show you the really new important ones, but you can still access anything else by searching for it or by clicking all mail. Importing your email and contacts from your old email address, and many of you, if you've already have lists of contacts within your school account, this is a great way to transfer all of those over, or from any other email account, so that you have them in Gmail and you can compose messages to them right away and not have to remember what the email addresses are. Another one that I really like are themes, and I don't know if you guys have seen Google Chrome, the internet browser, but there's some awesome themes for Chrome, and now there are some really cool themes for Gmail as well. And the idea is we just spend so much time in our email, and in many ways it can be an extension of your own personality and something that you want to look at every single day. So themes are a great way to spice it up. So now let's move on to the next the next step in the Gmail Ninja training, and that would be the green belt. And like I said, you can look at all of these online at any time if you'd like, and we're going to mail with that care package some printouts there of the entire Gmail Ninja training so that you can use it to teach other people on campus or hand these out and really get people started. So with the green belt, it's people who, more than a couple messages a day, get a dozen or so messages a day, and have the need for that next step of features. We talked about chatting, but one of the ways that you can interact over the email platform in different ways is just doing video chat. So you actually want to have a real conversation with another person and see them. So that's something that you can enable very easily now, and this was started in the last year and just a really exciting new development. We talked about tasks, and that's something that can help organize your life, and we talked a little bit about filters and using filters and colored labels. What I wanted to highlight about the filters and the labels is now what you can do is you can actually see all of your labels in the top left-hand side of your email inbox, and what you can do is you can drag email messages directly into these labels, or drag a label and drop it directly on an email message. So instead of having to go through all those steps of create a label and delineate all of the types of emails that go into there, you get a message that should go into that category. What you can do is you can just click on that message and drag it over into your labels. And the ones that are going to show on the left-hand side are the ones that you use most frequently. And you can, of course, click on more and view all of those labels. We did talk about using Gmail on your phone, and sending and receiving email on your phone is one of those things. If you get a dozen or so messages a day, some of them might be pretty important. You might want to access them right on the go. So that's something. Previewing attachments without downloading them. Many times you just don't want to go through those extra steps of looking at that, downloading that PDF, or if you're working on the school's computer in the library and you can't really download files, but you still want to look at those notes that your friend sent you, you can just click on View as HTML. And what this has done is it's actually translated that file into a format that you can read right on the internet. Undo send is another feature in the same vein as the mail goggles. It's often embarrassing if you send a message to the wrong person, or you send something prematurely before you wanted to. So now if you have a few seconds right after you sent that message, you'll see that bar right above that says your message has been sent, and now you can click undo, and it gives you a couple seconds to do that, and you never know when that'll really come in handy. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but I would highly recommend on your own time going through these Gmail Ninja tips and learning through for the green belt. Now, as far as the black belt level of Gmail Ninja goes, this is really, we're not quite at master, but these are people, for those of us who get a lot of messages a day, and these are some of the features that, really would make sense if you get a lot of messages to save time, find your mail more efficiently. So, keyboard shortcuts we talked about, and I can never emphasize enough how useful these keyboard shortcuts are. I was a little bit of a skeptic, and I never used keyboard shortcuts for the internet or internet browser or anything like that. And then once I finally started doing it, I just use them anywhere I can because it's so easy. And the mouse can be annoying sometimes. Now, we talked about searching, and many people know that in Google.com you can use advanced operators to find exactly what you're looking for. So you can search for content in a particular website, for example. But we also have these advanced search operators in Gmail. And if you go to this black belt stage of the Gmail Ninja Tips, there's also a link there that will show you all of the specific search operators that work in Gmail. So examples that come to mind is you say from and have a colon and then a certain person, or has, and you want something that has an attachment. And especially if you're getting a lot of mail and trying to find something specific that you have in mind, this makes it pretty easy to do that. You could also search for mail within a specific date range, just using these search features. There's a pretty long list there, and definitely worth looking through that. One of the things that I really like is this feature that allows you to see which messages were sent right to you. So I get a lot of mail every day, and maybe 10% of them were sent specifically to me, and it means I might have to respond to it or do something. Some of them are sent to groups of people. So what this will do is it'll actually put those two little caret points next to the message, so that you can identify it really easily as being an important one. So we can you can definitely go through the rest of these black belt tips later, and I wanted to then quickly go over the Gmail master. This are people who get a massive number of messages. I definitely fall into this range, and just some of those more advanced features like bringing Google Calendar and Docs right into Gmail. So if you're looking at your Gmail all day and you want to know when you need to get somewhere, have that box right in there. Sending SMS messages, and there are a few other ones that are definitely worth checking out on that list. So I wanted to go over some of the ways to spread your expertise. You guys are definitely the best and the brightest when it comes to the Google products on campus and have a vast knowledge there. So the idea is we want to spread the love, so to speak, and show other people how to use some of these features. So once you have become a Gmail Ninja Master yourself and have gone through those trainings, I like to say earn your stripes on your black belt. A great way to master the techniques is to tell friends, teachers, anyone else on campus who you can find. So some of the ways that we've thought of are giving demos, and basically anywhere you get a group of people together, like an activity fair or an orientation event, just set up a table and have a computer there to show people some of these features. Really seeing them in action is the most powerful way to understand the way to use it. And visually, it's, as you guys know, it's sometimes difficult to just explain in words some of the ways that these can really save time. So setting up a table anywhere on campus, or just show your friends some of those tips and tricks. Arrange a professor breakfast to teach them some tricks. Some professors are super tech savvy, and others not very much so, and are just, the whole idea of email is a new thing. So taking some time to show them the ways that this can help improve, their interactions with students and other colleagues can really go a long way, and also help build relationships with other students or professors. Now, in terms of giveaways, what we have now are we're going to be sending you guys some packages with Gmail stickers, like you can see in some of these Ninja guides, so that can get people really excited about using these new features in Gmail and learning about them. So you'll be receiving those in the mail. And now, what should you do? So our goal is to have all of the ambassadors become Gmail ninjas by mid-January. And then I just sort of covered the tip of the iceberg in terms of ways to creatively spread these ideas to other people on campus. So what we're looking for is for you to use your creativity and show as many people as possible what you consider to be the coolest features. And they might be different from what I've gone over, in my opinion, but forwarding campus email to Gmail, can really be a lifesaver. Accessing your email on the phone, the Ninja trainings like we discussed, and some of those labs. And in mid-February, we're going to send you a survey about all of those efforts that you've done to spread the word. And we basically want to know exactly, how many people you've talked to, what you found the best ways, so that we can really share these with all of the ambassadors and develop some best practices there and some of the best ways of reaching out. And we're going to actually have really, really awesome Gmail swag to whomever makes the biggest or most creative impact. So look out for those surveys. We'll be really interested in hearing how you spread some of these features around your campus, some of the creative ways that you did it, and if you're able to measure, what that impact is. You never know. You teach one person this feature and they then teach 5 others. It can really go a long way, and we all know that. So, with that, we're going to go to a Q&A, and we have some questions here that I'm very happy to answer, as well as Miriam and Alex.
Great. Well, thank you so much, David. As you guys know from what we did with all of the docs work that you guys are putting in, really the way that we can continue sending you fun swag and goodies is by showing the impact of the work that you do on campus. So once you receive these kits with some stickers and some of these ninja guides, and you've also seen you can print out the PDFs yourself to make handing them out even easier, or sending the link out to people so they can access the guide online. Really make sure to get out there on campus and share some of these tips with other people so you can earn your ninja stripes. So going right into the questions, the first one is Gmail ever going to get rid of the invite box?
So is Gmail ever going to get rid of the invite box? That's a really good question, and what I can say is that at this point there are no plans to. We actually, one of the great things about Gmail is the community that it's fostered, and starting from the very beginning, I know that I was invited by a friend, and we actually do get a lot of people who join Gmail for the first time from invites from friends. So it is open to the public and people can sign up for accounts, but especially when you've got someone who's been using a different type of email for a long time, having that recommendation from you, a friend, someone else saying, hey, I really think that you get a lot out of Gmail, tends to be a pretty powerful motivator there. So no plans to remove that invite box.
The next question is, if a school wants to go Google Apps, but it isn't yet, is it difficult to switch over? And what about for organizations? So it's definitely not a difficult thing for an organization to do once they make the decision to go live. And as you guys know, you were really instrumental in helping your school and your administration understand the benefits of going Google. So we do have a site or a page up on the Ambassador Resource Guide. And we also have a lot of resources available to you, and we are happy to work with you guys directly to bring some of this to your campus as well. So we're actually already working with a number of your schools to help disseminate some of that information and help provide you with the tools that you guys need to make that even easier if your school is interested in it. But at this point, really, it has to be a decision made by the administration. Usually your CIO or your IT administrators that manage your on-campus security. The next question, can ambassadors get Gmail stickers to give out to students? Yes, you will get them soon. That was an easy one. Next question, plans for text goggles.
Now that's definitely a funny idea and something that I would love. I don't know of any plans right now, and I know you can send SMS messages in Gmail, but definitely something that would be a useful feature, and we will take note of it.
Instead of the paperclip icon in Gmail, are you going to use any different icons to indicate a doc, PowerPoint, or Excel?
That is also in that category of something that sounds like it's a great idea, and I'm not exactly sure whether or not that's something that's in the pipeline right now, but it's something that I'm going to take a note on right now, and super idea, and pass it along to our engineers.
Next question. Can you import email from Hotmail or Windows Live account?
So can you import email from Hotmail and Windows Live accounts? You can forward email from any email account that follows the SMTP proxy. In terms of importing all of your contacts, I can check real quickly, but the list is right online in the Help Center of the services that you can, and I do believe that the answer is yes.
Will people be able to make their own themes by uploading their own pictures? Will more themes be coming? I know for the apps, on the app side of things, we are working with a couple of schools to figure out how to make apps-wide themes available. And I know that this is something that the team is actively working on. There is also right now an ability to go in and control your custom colors within the theme settings. So we will also take those feedback back to the team and make sure that that's on their long, long list of things to work on. The next question, does the Gmail team look at Firefox extensions for Gmail, such as Better Gmail, to get ideas for improvements?
Another outstanding question, and the answer is that we, in terms of development here, we are always looking for ways that people are using the product. So in Gmail's case, if there are cool, exciting feature ideas and ways that people have used browser extensions, we do pay attention to it, and mostly though, we like to hear from users themselves about ways that Gmail can be improved and other add-ons, and that really does help spur the idea process for developing new features.
Great. And then the last question, which is not really a question, I like the feature that shows on the buddy list those people who are on their Android phone rather than just online.
Well, cool comment, agreed over here on my end, and that's just something to note. You can see in that contact list that different icons for people who are on those Android phones, and there are some awesome Android phones out now, so definitely check them out.
Great. Well, we want to thank David so much for giving us the rundown of all the tips and tricks that you can use in Gmail. You guys should be expecting your package of Gmail goodies to hand out soon in the next few weeks. And in the meantime, you can also access the Ninja Guide online. So be sure if you want to print that out or send that to other people, you can definitely start doing that now. And make sure to become a registered certified ninja by going through all these tips and learning about them yourself so that you can help spread them to others. So yeah, with that, we'll be posting a recording of this session soon, and if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to forward them our way. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.